Peppa Pig and the Flying Hat. One morning, Peppa and George discover a very special hat. Wow! The hat suddenly wiggles, as if it is waking up. Then it lifts into the air and floats gently. It flies around the room and Peppa and George happily chase it. The hat tilts from side to side, like it's greeting them. After a while, it slows down and gently lands. Peppa puts on the hat and they both laugh happily. Peppa Pig and the Shoebox. One day, Peppa finds an empty shoebox on the floor. She opens it and looks inside curiously. George reaches in and explores the space inside.
Oh!
George puts the box on his head and lifts it off playfully. The simple shoebox becomes an imaginative and fun game for Peppa and George. Peppa Pig and the Little Spoon. One day, Peppa finds a small spoon on the table. She picks it up and looks at it carefully. Peppa taps it gently and hears a fun sound. George copies her and makes rhythmic sounds. They tap the spoon together like playing music. The little spoon becomes a fun sound game for Peppa and George. Peppa Pig and the Tape Roll. One day, Peppa finds a small roll of tape on the table. Whoa! She pulls a piece and feels it stick to her hand. Peppa sticks and peels it again and again.
Uh-oh.
Woohoo! George touches it and feels his hand stick too.
Whoa!
The tape roll turns into a creative and playful game for Peppa and George. Peppa Pig and the Magical Dance. On a beautiful day, Peppa and George listen to a cheerful tune. Hey! Peppa starts moving to the rhythm with funny dance steps. George joins in, dancing in his own adorable way. Suddenly, the floor lights up with every step they take. The lights turn into magical shapes floating around them. They dance faster and laugh with joy. When the music stops, everything returns to normal, but the happiness remains. Peppa Pig and the Bouncing Ball. On a cheerful day outside, Peppa and George notice a small ball resting on the ground. They quickly run over and Peppa eagerly picks up the ball. Yahoo! Suddenly, the ball slips from Peppa's hands and starts bouncing higher and higher. Peppa and George run after the bouncing ball, laughing happily. Slowly, the bouncing becomes softer and comes to a stop. Peppa picks up the ball and they both smile at the fun they just had. Peppa Pig and the Sparkling Cup. On a beautiful morning like any other, Peppa was happily playing when she suddenly noticed a clear glass of water. She lifts it and sees the light shining through it. Peppa gently shakes the cup and watches the water move. George curiously touches the cup and looks inside. The light creates sparkling reflections on the table. The cup of water becomes a calm and magical little discovery for Peppa and George. Peppa Pig and the Glowing Box. One day, Peppa and George notice a small box resting on the floor. Whoa! The box suddenly begins to glow softly, as if hiding a secret inside. Whoa! The light spreads across the room, creating a magical atmosphere. Peppa and George move closer, curiously looking at the glowing box. Whoa! The box slowly opens and tiny glowing lights float into the air. The little lights swirl around them as if playing together. The glow fades away. The box closes, leaving behind a magical moment. Peppa Pig and the Music Box. On a lovely sunny day, Peppa finds a small box on the table. Wow! She opens it and hears soft music. Inside, a gentle melody begins to play. George listens carefully to the sound. They sway gently to the music together. The music box brings calm and happy moments for Peppa and George. Peppa Pig and the Little Flashlight. One day, Peppa finds a small flashlight on the table. She turns it on and sees the light shine. Peppa moves the light across the floor. George follows the light with his hand. The little flashlight becomes a fun and exciting discovery for Peppa and George. Peppa Pig and the Little Rainbow. After a light rain, Peppa and George go outside to explore. Suddenly, a small rainbow appears close to them. Peppa walks closer and admires the bright colors.
Whoa!
George reaches out and touches it, and it sparkles.
Huh?
Soft colors reflect gently on them. The little rainbow slowly rises into the sky. They smile as it fades into the blue sky. Peppa Pig and the Singing Teacup. One day, Peppa and George were sitting and playing when they saw a cute little teacup. The teacup gently shakes and warm steam rises in soft swirls. Suddenly, the steam turns into sparkling musical notes in the air. The teacup begins to sing with soft, gentle sounds, and Peppa listens closely. George sways along with the melody happily. Slowly, the musical notes fade away into the air. The teacup becomes quiet again, leaving behind a calm and magical moment. Peppa Pig and the Flashlight. One day, Peppa finds a small flashlight on the table.
Whoa! Whoa!
She turns it on and sees a bright light.
Whoa!
Peppa shines it on the wall and watches. George puts his hand in the light to make shadows. They move the light around the room together. The flashlight becomes a fun light game for Peppa and George. Peppa Pig and the Little Snail. One day, Peppa and George are playing in the garden. Peppa finds a small snail moving slowly. She bends down to watch it closely. George follows the tiny trail behind it. Peppa places a leaf in front of the snail. The snail slowly climbs onto the leaf. Peppa and George smile as they discover something. Peppa Pig and the Flying Trash Bin Car. On another day, Peppa and George notice the little trash bin car again. When Peppa touches it, the bin begins to glow mysteriously.
Whoa! Whoa!
inside and it starts to gently shake. Suddenly, the bin lifts off the ground and begins to float. The bin slowly descends, spinning like a graceful dance. Back on the ground, it returns to normal, but the magical joy remains. Peppa Pig and the Little Music Box. One fine day, Peppa finds a small box on the table. She opens it and listens to a sound.
Oh!
Peppa leans in to hear it carefully. George comes closer and listens too. They open and close it to hear changes in sound. The little box becomes a gentle and interesting sound experience for Peppa and George.
Two hours later.
Huh?
Bye bye.
Two hours later.
Mama.
Yippee!
2 hours later.
Hey!
Yippee!
Hiring? Aren't you tired of hoping the right candidates see your job posts and apply? It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Thank you.